Recording? Okay, it being 6:05, I would like to call to order the Planning and Zoning and Historic Commission meeting of Thursday, April 4th, 2024. With that, could I have a roll call? Give you just a second to get situated.
So, okay, Commissioner Kruger.
Here.
Commissioner Stenick.
Yes.
Scarpelli.
Here.
Bruner.
Here?
Ray Barra.
Here.
Myers.
Here.
And Kruger. Oh, I had Kruger twice. Right there.
Back.
Oh, Charlie.
Right here.
Back.
Okay, it's not on her.
So yeah, it looks like the second Kruger should be
Okay. Feck.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, perfect attendance. Fantastic. So we have a quorum. We can move on to our first order of business, which is the approval of the minutes from the March 7th, 2024 meeting minutes. May I have a motion to approve the minutes as included in our packet?
A motion to approve the minutes.
I'll
Seconded.
Okay, before the vote, is there any discussion, any change?
This is
Okay,
pretty much everything we talked about.
okay, great. So Chris, could we have the,
Okay, vote to approve the minutes. Kruger? Yes? Who had the motion?
it was Connie, seconded by Maureen? By, or Lily?
One of these guys, Steve or Lily. Lillian or Steve. Whichever you want to say.
Kruger?
Yes.
Okay. Stenick?
Yes.
Scarpelli?
Yes.
Bruner?
Yes.
Ray Barra?
Yes.
Myers?
Yes.
And Feck?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, moving on to the next item on our agenda, public comment. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to make a statement on an agenda or non-agenda item? Seeing none, moving on to our new business. The first will be a request for a special use on the property associated with PIN 157-065A101 located at 590 Healy. So may I have a motion to open the public hearing for a request for a continued 12-month extension of an existing special use for outside vehicle and equipment parking and storage for the south portion of the property associated with section 157-065A101 located at 590 Healy Road, East Dundee, IL 60118, PIN 01303000090000 in the M1 manufacturing district.
Very nice. I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay?
So first Myers, second Frick.
Yep.
Trying to help Chris.
I got it.
Right.
You
We
do
have a vote?
Yeah, we need a
another
roll
vote.
call.
Okay. Kruger?
Yes.
Stenick?
Yes.
Scarpelli?
Yes.
Bruner?
Yes.
Ray Barra?
Yes.
Myers?
Yes.
And Feck?
Yes.
Great. So, before we get started here, Chris, did we receive any email or phone call or mail correspondence for this here?
No.
Okay. Then, is the petitioner present? Okay, so for everyone who will speak, please come up to the podium and you'll be sworn in.
Can you state and spell your name, please?
Yes. My name is Steve Kaminsky with Mackey Consultants. I'm the civil engineer consultant to 590 Healy LLC. Jeff Moyer here is here representing the developer. Named Steve Kaminsky, Kaminski. I can give you a business card later if it's easier.
Well, first we need to swear you in.
Yes,
Okay. Do you want me to do it?
that'd be fantastic.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, the witness is sworn.
Fantastic. Okay.
Has everyone on the commission been on the commission for longer than a year?
Yes,
And they
we-
remember our
yes.
project site from last year. This is the Healy Road facility. It's currently in a what's called a CCBB fill operation. And last year when we came before you, We had requested the special use, and I can't remember if it was this body or the village board that decided that it would be inappropriate to entitle an open-ended special use for truck parking on the south side because there just weren't enough details yet. So what we've got to report in the interim, in the past year, the progress that we've made is we have completed and received village staff and engineering consultant approval on our mass grading plan. Also, staff and village engineer approval of the stormwater master plan associated with the overall development. The preliminary engineering and coordination and alignment of the Hines Drive geometrics and design profile, the utility layout, that's all been approved by the village engineer, and we have submitted the first draft outline of a development agreement that would establish the permanent set of obligations and requests for zoning approvals and special use and things. That's currently being evaluated by village staff. So what we are here tonight to ask for is for a additional 12-month extension to the terms that exist today, or that have, I guess, expired today, so that we can complete that process, still be able to do the remaining development work on the north side, while still being able to park some of those trucks in the south side while we're working on the north side. Once it's done on the north side, we do not expect to have to come back for any further extensions. We expect that the development agreement will be nailed down, and we'll have a final deal before this particular extension would expire next year.
Okay, great. And it's my understanding that big reason for the need of the extension was delays on the extension of Hines Road from what you guys initially thought last year.
Yeah, there's been a variety of things that have made things difficult to get things done as fast as we could. There's the original easement that ComEd granted for Hines Road crossing expired. And a couple of the reasons that had previously militated towards aligning Hines Drive a little bit south of where it is on the west side of Commonwealth don't appear to exist anymore. So we've made a nicer alignment so that Hines would go straight through across Commonwealth rather than being offset. And so I think the village, Chris, you can speak to this better than I can. Although I think it's Jerry Hines that's actually working with ComEd, right?
No, I'm the one that's facilitating
Okay.
the easement with ComEd, yeah. So the ball is back in their court on our last submittal. It's been in their ballpark for about 3 months now.
Yeah.
They move really quickly over there, so we expect something any day now.
Okay, great. So any questions for the petitioner from the board?
So the south half you will develop before the north half?
The south half is expected to be well, I can pass out our latest plans, which I think look fairly similar to what you saw last time.
Thank you very much.
From the commissioners.
Thank you.
The actual construction of buildings on the south side kind of depends on when a buyer shows up. This is something that's actively being marketed, but it's pending the actual finalization of the development agreement. There's only so far that marketing can go. You can kind of get people interested. You can't sign contracts because no one will do that until we get through the development agreement process, and some of those things are nailed down. But we do, Jeff, you can speak to this better than I can, but the intent is to build that as soon as we can find a buyer for it. And the market is good.
Yeah.
If to the level of interest you
If
have.
Jeff, he has to be sworn in.
Yes.
All right, please
My name
raise,
is Jeff Moyer.
please raise your right hand. Do solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right, witness is sworn.
So yes, there is some interest in the south side parcel, south of Hines Road. I've been in some conversations with some interested folks, and yeah, to the point Steve made, we're actively working on getting final grades established on the north half, so we can kind of transfer those trucks to the north half where they'll be permanently parked. Once we can do that and we get through some development agreements, we're anxious and eager to get into some further conversations with these interested parties. So that's definitely our intent and plan.
And then the north half, would that be developed after the south half is completed, or do you plan on just leaving it truck parking?
We plan on keeping it as you're currently seeing on that site plan concept with truck parking there and some construction-related activities as well.
Okay.
Which isn't to say that you would turn somebody down if they wanted to build
I mean-
an ancillary support building on part of that and make you the right offer.
Anything's possible.
Anyone on this side of the commission?
Yeah, no, I guess I'm not as familiar with truck parking other than seeing a sea of truck parking. But, so I'm trying to like, kind of filter this. Sorry, I'm still looking.
Yeah.
And just to clarify, this plan, when we actually come for, when the development agreement is vetted by staff and they're ready to make recommendations, this plan would come before you again.
Okay, okay,
Right now,
I
what we're here
understand.
for
It's
is
just the
requesting
extension.
the
Just the
temporary
extension.
special use approval for smart trucks on the south
Okay,
side.
I won't
as well.
focus on this as
Yeah.
much, but,
So
okay.
you would definitely have an opportunity to comment on this when the
Wonderful.
time comes. Right, Chris, am I
Yeah.
representing that
Correct.
process?
Yes.
That's
That makes
correct,
sense.
yeah.
That helps.
So,
Would,
Then I don't have questions.
if I have questions for Kelly, would now be the time to ask in the public hearing or after the public hearing?
It's up to you.
Okay.
yeah, it'd be if you think they have anything to add.
Yeah,
in regards to
so
it.
I know when we heard the, when we heard the special use about a year ago or so, I don't recall there being, I just recall us giving one special use or a recommendation to the board for a special use. It appears now that it's almost like there's separate conditions on the north half and the south half.
That's right.
So I'm assuming the village board implemented those.
I believe that you're correct, yes. That's
Okay,
what I remember.
so I guess my question would be is this now two separate special uses, or is it one special use
It's-
with two different sets of conditions?
It's one special use with two conditions. Right.
Okay.
Yes.
So if either one of them, I know the other one doesn't come back for like 9 more years,
Yeah.
for 10 years total. If either one of them were to be denied, then that would deny both of them?
Yes, it's a tricky question. Part of it's because we're at an expiration of the south portion, so it
Sure.
would just expire if it were to be
Yeah.
denied, so that they would no longer have use of that south portion.
Okay,
It's like
in the way that-
part of it would become inactivated.
And then they'd have to be in violation, really, of the north conditions
Okay.
then, at that point.
Yeah.
okay.
In order for this to
And,
come back.
And then I apologize, I didn't look back at my notes from the last the last time you were before us, but did our recommendation to the village board include that they would do some paving on the north half after so many years?
I don't think so.
Okay,
I don't recall that either.
okay.
We were focusing much more on the southern half, and
Yeah.
then not that, having that become a, impermeable surface,
Okay.
and have it be a proper parking lot. But I think it's still asphalt shavings and whatnot. It's,
Yeah.
the special use and the variance, right?
Yeah,
And to clarify, correct me if I'm wrong on the attorney level here, but there is a separate special use that covered the recycling operation. That was an
That's
entirely
the
separate-
grinding,
yes.
yes, the crushing, yes, yes, there
And
was.
so
Yeah.
you might be
Yeah.
remembering that part of it, because I
Yeah.
believe there were some paving requirements.
Yeah.
Discuss
Yeah.
that.
with that, okay,
Yep.
okay. Okay, thank you.
Cool. So then one last thing I'd like to get in, and do we have any, Chris, do you know of any, let's say, complaints, any issues, any specific trouble we've had with this south parking? over
We
the
have
last
not had
year?
any, no.
Okay, that's good to hear. Okay, anything else that we would like in the public here?
I'll just add, so what we're doing with this special use is continuing the allowance of parking of trucks without enforcing the codes of, having it paid,
Well, it's
having it
just
lit.
allowing it at
Yeah.
all,
Right.
parking at all.
Yep, okay,
So we're not invalidating the variance that they had to park,
right.
but yes, and that didn't expire. just the special use of it. And really, I think the reason why we needed extended is really things outside of their control seem to have been, taken longer than they thought. So, yeah, I think that's why we are where we are.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Public, go ahead.
I'll make that motion to close it.
Second it.
Myers, Kruger.
Got it.
Okay.
Need another vote? Kruger,
Yes.
Stenick,
Yes.
Scarpelli,
Yes.
Bruner,
Yes.
Ray Breyer,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
and Peck.
Yes.
Okay. You did pronounce
Thank you.
findings of fact.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, quick discussion. I think, as you probably can gather my opinion, which is, it seems like they've been moving forward with the plans that we had set forth last year. Doesn't seem like things have moved as fast as they'd like. It seems like the special use hasn't caused any hardships, so to me, it seems very reasonable to continue forward with it. Is there other thoughts or?
It seems like a simple extension for one more year.
Yeah, okay. So let's do then the findings of fact. Let's get that done first, and then we can do we can do the motion after that. So I have here the items or the findings of fact in front of us. I'll go through the points like we normally do. So first, this use is not injurious to the use and enjoyment of property in the immediate vicinity of for the purpose already permitted, nor substantially diminish or impair the property values within the neighborhood. We have yes. It's already been there and no one has complained. The use will not impede the normal orderly development and improvement of the surrounding property for uses permitted in this district. I would say yes. Adequate utilities, roads, drainage, or necessary facilities have been or will be provided.
Yes.
Yes, we're all good with the yes. Adequate measures have been taken to provide ingress and egress is designed as to minimize the traffic congestion in public streets. Nothing was necessary. We have not applicable. I'm fine with that. And then how is the proposed special use in harmony with the purposes, goals, objectives, policies, and standards of the Village of East Dundee, comprehensive plan, the zoning ordinance, and other plan, program, or ordinance adopted under consideration pursuant to the official notice by the village? And it's the 2002 Office Industrial Development Plan goal states to ensure a strong, diversified employment base which will provide jobs and strengthen the economy of East Dundee. This aligns with that special use. I am going to be so excited after we get our comprehensive plan and we can have something better than that to say. Okay? So, could I have a motion then to approve these findings of fact as written and provided in our packet?
So moved.
I'll
Second. Yep.
Scarpelli and Myers?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you got the second?
Yeah.
Kruger,
Yes.
Stenick,
Yes.
Scarpelli,
Yes.
Bruner,
Yes.
Ray Brower,
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
And Peck.
Yes.
So that was 7 yeas.
I'll make a motion that we recommend to the village board to extend the special use for a 12-month period for the property located at property identification number 01-30-300-009-0000.
I would second that.
Scarpelli, Myers?
Yep.
Got it?
Okay, Kruger,
Yes.
Stenick,
Yes.
Scarpelli,
Yes.
Bruner,
Yes.
Ray Brower,
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
And Peck.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. Give them a bit. Would you like your printouts back, or are these for us to keep?
Cool.
Okay.
We'll be back.
Okay.
Okay.
With them.
Yeah, he's.
Okay. Moving on to our second item of new business, it's another public hearing. So may I have a motion to open the public hearing to hear a request for special use permit for tattooing as described in section 157.050 F1 to be located at 535 Dundee Avenue, East Dundee, Illinois 60118, portion of PIN 0326227007 in the B3 Service Business District.
Motion to.
I'll second.
Okay, Kruger,
Yes.
Stenick,
Yes.
Scarpelli,
Yes.
Bruner,
Yes.
Raybar,
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
And Feck.
Yes.
Okay. So before we get started, Chris, did we hear anything from the public in terms of phone calls, emails, mail
No.
on this topic?
No, we have not.
Okay, great. Yeah, it looks like our petitioner has already approached the podium. So could we get your name and then Kelly will swear you in.
My name is Cesar Torres.
Can you spell your,
CESARTORRES.
okay, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, the record reflects the witness has been sworn.
Okay, great. Well, tell us about your business.
Okay. Personally, I've been tattooing 26 years.
Mm-hmm.
For the past, say, about 20 years, I have been inside the Elgin Mall, which is located at 308 South McLean. Now, recently, as of last year, they all of a sudden decided that the owner decided to use the property for something else or rent it to somebody else. Therefore, the leasee that was there before had to say to move out. So, because they only gave us a month notice after 20 years, and another person from within the mall took over and spoke with the owner, who also owns the property here in East Dundee. I believe it used to be a Dominic's, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So, because of that, he extended the lease, a short lease, for this property to be basically built up to what the necessities as far as the mall goes. And it was supposed to be in May, but it wasn't done. It was supposed to be in December, it wasn't done. And now it's May again. Hopefully it will be done by then. Now, I have been in there for since the mall started about 20 years ago. I'm saying about, I'm not exactly sure, about 7-8 years ago, the city of Elgin changed their zoning. Therefore, they grandfathered me in for being in there so long. Not one single complaint from public, from anybody as far as, I've heard that the one that they used to have at this other place on 31, that little flea market, there used to be some gentlemen, some young guys that used to be there, and the complaints from the police and from people were always constant there. They were getting high in there, they were getting drunk, they were tattooing or piercing minors, which, of course, as a parent, I would go myself, say, what's going on here? And I heard this from the people from Elgin, some police officers that came along with the inspector to check on me. They saw that everything was fine, and they grandfathered me in. They said, unless I move or unless I try to change or something, then I'm okay. And now that this situation happened, it seems that everybody's moving to this location. Now, if I was selling boots, we would be here. I'd be right along with them as far as licensing. But because mine is a special type of license, I can't just move in there like that. So I had to file for special use. So I hopefully could qualify, to continue with my clientele that I've had for that long. Now, I personally have another small shop in Chicago on 49th and Archer. Anybody familiar with the city of Chicago? Is like about 10 minutes away from Midway Airport. Now, I've been in there 12 years. Before that, I was inside the Discount Mall, which is similar to the Elgin Mall, on 26th Street, by 26th and Kedzie, like right in the heart of Little Village. There, I had been there since 91, up until 12 years ago, but I started there airbrushing on t-shirts and cars and whatnot, and then I got so many people when, like, about 26 years ago, people started asking me about tattoos, and at the time I didn't know how, so I would tell them, you know what, I don't know how to do this, so I would send them elsewhere, or I would just draw up their design that they wanted and send them elsewhere. I got to the point where too many people were asking me, and I decided to ask a good friend of mine that knew how to tattoo, because he had a shop in Mexico, to show me the basics. Or basically, first it was come in and set up on the weekends, and then while he was doing that, I would be watching, and then he started showing me the basics, and then we ended up like side by side doing them on the weekends, and then again 26 years later, I've continued, and I've been doing it so long. 12 years ago, the city of Chicago in that area also changed their zoning laws, which meant I had to, find somewhere else, and that's why we're at the shop on 49th and Archer, right on the corner. So again, now that this is closing down, I will tell my clients when they're asking me about it, I'm like, well, right now we're looking into licensing, so I could be over there. I said, but you're more than welcome to come in my shop in Chicago. And I hear the same thing. Oh, wow. Oh, excuse me, brothers. Ay, ya está muy lejos. Which means all the way over there, it's too far. I'm like, but I do that traveling on a weekly basis. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I come all the way from over there here. And, but for them, it's too far to go all the way over there. Being that it's like 10, 15 minutes away from there, they don't seem to bother to come this far, but all the way to Chicago they can't. And I kind of felt I would feel bad about being able to lose 20 years of clientele. At this point right now, I am 3 generations in of people that I have tattooed or pierced, where you came in when you were younger, I tattooed you, and then you came in with your wife, and then you came in with your daughter or son to do a piercing, and then they came in with their kids to get pierced or tattooed. The piercings come first, and then of course they let them get their tattoos. So again, it's like 3 generations that I'm, in the years that I've done it, and people, I have a great following, a great following from that. Now I know you're like, well, where's your tattoos? Always happens, and as I'm tattooing somebody, they notice, and they're like, hey, where's your tattoos? And my response to my client as I'm doing it, I'm like, well, I'm not crazy. And they're like, oh, hey, you're calling me crazy? I said, no, you asked me. So I said, I'm not crazy. So my basic thing is this. Tattoos are not for everyone. No. Okay? Tattoos are not for everyone. Also, when I began, since a little kid, I've always been an artist. So when you see these other gentlemen or ladies that are tattooing and they're like covered in a lot of piercings and everything, you have to understand that, say 99% of them began as collectors. They started getting tattoos, and then they got to a point where like, man, I could do this. I'm an artist, or I could draw, I could do this. So they learn the process, and then they start doing it. And in the process, they meet other artists that are like, hey, I like your work. Do something for me here, and I'll do something for you here. Or, so it comes to a point where they become covered. As far as me, I've never been that like, I want a tattoo. It's just not for me. You know, not for me. I'm an artist and not a collector. Now my son, they're crazy. I have twin boys that would help me. They would help me. Unfortunately, 2 years ago, I lost one of my boys, and he was my right hand man, and COVID. And well, now I'm like stuck running both shops by myself because my other son, he pierces more than he tattoos. So he's not comfortable like tattooing somebody and and messing it up. So I'd rather him be level-headed like that than some of these other guys. Oh, I'll do this, and they mess up people. I get so many people that come in for me to fix their tattoos, or try to fix them. So I'm glad he's at least saying that I don't like tattooing. He'll pierce anything, but as far as tattooing, he's reserved on that. Whereas my other son, he was a great artist. So again, they're not for everyone. They're not for everyone. There's some that want the little tattoos. There's some that want the full big pieces. And if a parent comes in, or say a young person comes in and they want a tattoo, first of all, I card everyone. And if my mom says you know what, I need your mom or your dad or both of them will come in, with their ID. If they're 16 or older, then Illinois says 16 or older with parent consent, they could do that, as long as the parent signs for them. And for me to be able to do that, I need their ID, run the paperwork through it, and then have them sign and have them present while the procedure is happening, whether it be a tattoo or a quick piercing. It's not like, okay, we'll leave them there. No, that person's a minor. You're gonna sit right there while I finish, and once I'm finished, then they're able to take off. So.
Okay.
Anything
Thank you.
else you guys want to know?
Yeah, I have to say that's one of the more comprehensive descriptions of the business that we've received up here. So yeah, I guess I'll open it up to the other commissioners. Are there any questions that you would like to ask?
What's the name of your business?
Okay, everybody knows me as FESS, F-E-S-S. So for like 30 plus years, it's been FESS Graphics. Once we started doing the tattoos and my sons started helping me, it became FESS Graphics and Sons.
Cool.
So everybody knows, FESS Graphics.
Is this, pardon me for not knowing exactly the location, but I know it's the old Dominic's. You're not going to have a storefront. This is going to be an area in.
This is going to be the way. Have you been to the Elgin Mall at all?
I know of the Elgin Mall. Never been inside.
What it is, let's say, in 1990, 91, there was a Korean gentleman, Mr. Park, that used to be at the Division Flea Market where I used to be airbrushing as well. And he opened up the discount mall on 26th Street in Albany. What he did, he went in there, that used to be a Zare many, many years ago. And it was obviously empty, so he went in and subdivided it into 12 by 12 spaces, all inside. So he decided to open up, let's say, an indoor flea market that would be open 7 days a week.
Yep.
See, so from that, others opened up throughout the Chicagoland area, and one of them being Elgin.
Yeah.
And so it's right. At one point, I really couldn't tell you, but at one point, let's say if it was individual, it was probably about 100 individual spaces.
Sure.
But you might have been needing 2 or 3 spaces yourself, so they would, say they would get the walls off and just get 3. I myself have one all the way in the back of the building because we need water. We need running water to run my business. So, and that was the only place that had water. There were 3 spaces that had it, and 2 of them, like one on each side of me, are barber shops. Well, beauty salons.
Yep.
So they have water, they need water, and I also do. And the other ones that have water, like down the way, are restaurants.
Mhm.
You know, so here it's the same, basically the same format, where everything's subdivided, and again, they threw me all the way in the back again with the beauty shops and the restaurants as well.
How many days a week do you plan on being open and tattooing?
Well, the mall will open Thursday from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 10 to 8 p.m., on Sunday from 10 to 6:30 p.m., same hours that we have here. Now, I myself can't come Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday because I have the other shop to run as well now.
Mhm.
So I'm normally Friday, Saturday, and Sunday here at the shop. Now, again, also because they start at 10, there's days that I won't be able to start at 10 because I might have an appointment in my Chicago shop that would be early, and I'm not gonna rush any tattoo. So at that point, if I'm finished at 11:30, now there's gonna be that hour plus drive to get over here. Then I'll come and open up. My shop would be, would have a door, and small window and a door. So it'll be individually, like where I could open up, even though the whole mall will open.
Mhm.
I would come in, open up, and and welcome my clients.
Are you the only person now tattooing, or do you have a staff?
I am the only person tattooing and piercing there. Again, my other son would,
Right.
be with me, but, he's not.
Do you by appointment or walk-ins?
I take both.
You do?
The reason why I've tried appointments, now very seldomly do people will make appointments. It's a cultural thing to where they don't adhere by it. First of all, if you say, okay, appointment, okay, I'm gonna need, what is your name? Then I'm gonna need a $50 deposit. Oh, pues no, I don't have it. I'm gonna have to come back. Another thing is, the reason why I'm at a place like that, knowing from day one from 26th Street and then in Elgin Mall, was the fact that it's a very impulse buy. Those places are very impulse buy. No matter, you could come in to buy a pair of jeans, and as you walk around, you might see a pair of boots, or you might see a blouse, you might see a toy, you might see it. They happen to pass by, and they're like, oh, they're saying, hey, let's get a tattoo. They come in, they inquire, and they like the designs, and they like the price. They get their tattoo. So there are quite a bit of clients that keep coming back. I have clients come back from out of town, for the weekend, and then they come and, see me again. But as far as the appointments, they're rare when I get them just by appointment, because that two things, the clientele in that mall, very different from anywhere else. The one in the city is a lot more of the appointment based, because it's an outdoor shop, and it's like that. But over here, it's very different.
And then, I thought at one time you had to be, but maybe the rules have changed. Do you have to be licensed through the state of Illinois?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Now, I haven't sent for an application. First, you gotta call them. They'll send you an application. Then you send it back with $550, and then they send you your license. But before that, they contact. In this case, would be Kane County. So an inspector could go and make sure that everything's on the up and up, everything's done, and then they go ahead and okay it. Now, the reason why I haven't done anything like that, because this would come first.
Sure.
Before anything.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you said your location within the mall is going to be at the back of the store?
Back
so
of
there'll
the-
be no frontal,
No.
not visible from the street?
Oh, it's
Okay.
definitely not, trust me, it's not.
Right.
it's not, we don't even have visibility to the street. We come out like, oh man, it's raining. You know, there's no visibility.
Okay.
Only the people in the front of
Okay.
the place will have visibility. There's no, we're all the way in the back.
Okay.
Yes.
So if I'm shopping, walking around, will I see other people being tattooed, or is it behind, do you close the door,
Well,
or how is that?
there is, like where I'm at now,
Uh-huh.
there is a door that's always open, and then there's a 6x4 window in the little store there.
Uh-huh.
I do have blinds to where if I'm doing, for instance, you want a private tattoo where it's like anywhere in your body that you don't want anybody seeing, or even if it's not there. I've had people where like, is there a way you could close that because I don't want nobody watching. I close the door and I close that, give them their privacy that they won't require. But in this case, it would be the same where if you pass by, you see somebody tattooing, then that kind of gets that extra like, oh wow, hey, I've never seen anybody get tattooed. So they they stand by the window and they watch. As far as coming inside the store, I have a sign that says, other than the person being tattooed, only one other person could be like within my, say, 5 foot area.
Okay.
I don't have a waiting area because it's going to be 14 by 14. So it's basically what we see here. And I don't have enough room for a waiting area like I have in Chicago, So as far as anybody watching, they could pass by and see from the window.
And you're able to do one person at a time, or do you have it set up for 2 or 3 people?
Well, before I used to have it as for 2 stations, to where my son was taking care of somebody and I was myself. So at this particular place, hopefully I'll be just having 1 station and 1 station for piercing, where if somebody wants a piercing, that's where they get pierced, and tattooing gets done over here.
Okay, thank you.
Other
So
questions?
who wants to make an appointment?
Do you see yourself having a storefront at this location? Do you see yourself
No,
staying in
not
East
at this
Dundee?
location.
No?
Not at
Maybe
this
down the
location.
road?
Well, hopefully down the road. My only problem with that is I have the shop in Chicago. I live in Bolingbrook. So from Bolingbrook to my shop in Chicago, it's 23 miles. Okay? Now, from my house here is 45 minutes. So me being in the middle, I wouldn't be able to take care of, let's say, a storefront here. And what time would I have to open? What time would I be leaving home? What time would I spend with my grandkids and my wife? So those are the things that kind of stop me from having to travel all the way over here on let's say on a daily basis if I were to get a storefront. Also, who would run the storefront when I wasn't there or when I couldn't be there? One has to be a great artist. And the most important one, it has to be a trustworthy person, where I can't just give the keys or just here to just anybody.
Yeah.
Because that person, that artist, is my name. It's like, hey, where did you get that tattoo? And then I'll be like, oh, I got it by Fest Graphics. Why? Oh man, they messed it up. I don't want to go there.
Sure.
So whoever is there has to do great work or good enough works. For if somebody asks, it's like, oh, I like that, I'm gonna go there, Because 100% of my work and my business has been word of mouth. I don't do, other than Facebook and Instagram, I don't have like ads and billboards and stuff, saying, no, come here.
Yeah.
It's my walking billboards, that's the way I call them.
Anything else?
No.
Okay.
I just want to note one thing. I think as part of the suggested conditions, and I know we're not there yet, if as a tattoo business, if he's required and is regulated by the state of Illinois, I'm not sure that the village can require him to get a business license. I think they can require registration, but we'll double check that. I wanted to flag that for this body though.
Okay. I would assume that there's inspections.
Well, the state
Right.
handles it.
Well, the state would, I guess, get a hold of King County
Yeah.
and send somebody over to inspect.
How often do you get inspected at your?
Once a year,
Yeah.
once a year, or it depends on what they see. This is what I've been, that I have noticed, depends on what they see.
So you're not a solo, you're not solo, you've got other people working in the shop, right?
Well, at my other shop in Chicago, I have one more
Okay,
artist.
so we'll have to check. I think there's a difference between being like one massage therapist, his or her license would be regulated by the state, but as a business, they might not regulate the whole business. They might just regulate just his particular work. So anyway, I'll
Oh,
flag that
that's
to the
okay.
board.
I'm sorry, sir. But yes, that's true, because if I have him and him and him working at my shop, they have to, well, the shop passes inspection.
Yeah.
But then each one of them have to be, they have to have their bloodborne pathogens and, the
Yes.
training and all that. So each individual artist will need certain things, but the shop itself is the one that's gonna be like the umbrella on the artist that it has.
Yeah, I think you can pass the conditions going forward. I'll flag it and we'll find out
Okay.
for the board for sure.
Okay.
I'll make a motion, we close the public hearing.
A second.
Kruger,
Yes.
Stenick,
Yes.
Scarpelli,
Yes.
Bruner,
Yes.
Ray Burr,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
and Beck.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Rose.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so a couple of things, and I assume most of you've read, or all of you've read the conditions that we have in our packet here, and these match what was put on another tattoo shop that we approved
Right.
last year, Willow and Birch. Now, I think there are definitely some differences between this in the location and being inside, that maybe these don't apply the same way. So I think I'll just go through the four that we have. I think, the conditions, the must comply with state, local, federal laws. I
Yep.
think that we want,
Yep.
always want. Now, tattooing should not be allowed before 8 a.m. or after 8 p.m. any day of the week. They aren't open outside of those hours. So,
Once 8 p.m. hits over there,
yeah.
the lights come off, the electricity come off.
So we can put it in, but it's
Well,
not relevant.
yeah, I think we should keep him, but
Yeah.
he can't because of the hours of the law.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, the third one here is one that I think we need to discuss a little bit, which is tattooing is by appointment only. Now, one of the reasons I really like this for Willow and Birch was it's on our strip where we have a lot of people drinking and didn't want that to be a place of bad decisions. And also, it was presenting right on our main street.
Right.
And it would have been visible, and we wanted it hidden and not advertised. But I think here inside of the building, it's kind of a different,
I agree.
Yeah.
because it's not going to be advertised outside like a place right on the storefront would. And their neighbors, his landlord, if he's willing to give him a lease, I think, doesn't mind that with his other tenants.
I
Right?
agree.
Yeah, I agree.
And either Chris or Kelly, correct me if I'm wrong, if he were to, I guess, does this mall have any storefronts in the front window?
There's a few up in front here that may,
Okay,
but the way that store was,
Yeah.
there really isn't a lot of glass exposure.
okay.
And I think you're going right where I was thinking.
Yeah, I mean, my only thought would be is that if he were to move, if the landlord were to provide running water in the front and he were to be offered a storefront window, then I would either want him to revisit us or revisit the special use. So as long as the storefront is not on an exterior window, I'd be fine, I guess, limiting this special use to that condition.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed on that page that we're looking at going down, if you actually look at our section 3, we've got that as the first condition. Tattooing services should not be visible from the street view. And that's missing from that page that we're looking at. It's down here. If you look on section 3, that's the first condition.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So I'd like that included,
And that would be visible from the exterior,
Yeah.
not from inside the mall.
Right,
Okay.
the exterior, yeah.
Yeah, it's already makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
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 Part of that.
So I don't
Yes.
know if that was just left out by
Yeah.
mistake or whatever, but that's what I wanted to point out.
Yep. So, and are we okay with the appointment not being?
Yeah.
We can
Right.
strike that one?
Yeah.
Agree.
Okay.
Strike number
Yeah,
2.
is there any, there's not gonna be any alcohol served in the mall, is there?
No, no, it's a vendor mall, no.
Okay.
We'll make sure we get them all. It's all the conditions stated
Okay.
right for you. Yeah, it's number 3 is the one in the packet that we're saying we'd be getting. But it's number 4 in the previous ordinance. We'll say them all. Okay.
So I'm sorry, you're striking number 3? Which
Yes.
is tattooing is by appointment only?
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
We're going to strike that one. We're also going to, but we're going to add make sure not visible from street.
I guess, should we clarify street and call it parking lot? Because I guess from the street.
From the sidewalk.
Yeah.
The sidewalk in front of
Sidewalk.
the business.
From the
Yes.
exterior of the
In the
building.
front of business.
And that would be
Yeah.
consistent for any place,
Yeah.
really, right? You could say the, yeah, not, you
Yeah.
can't say easement. And then this last one here, 4, with the 90 days coming back, I think, based on the way this one sounds, if we want to have this, it should be tied, I think, to their approval of his permit. Because he won't be able to do, like, if we do this right now and he doesn't his thing, he won't be operating in 90 days, right? You wouldn't expect to be operating in 90 days?
I couldn't answer that because it's up to the state of Illinois how
Yeah.
busy they are in their office. They will be getting things back. I mean, the only thing they're there for is to make sure that I know what I'm doing and that,
Yeah.
obviously I'm using new needles and new ink and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so I'd like to revisit that time frame.
Yeah. Me personally, I'd like to eliminate that. I mean, I feel that our business licensing, our code violation, and/or just our staff should do all the policing necessary, especially in his case, he's a sole proprietor working 2 different shops. I don't know, I mean, if I were a business person who had applied for a special use, I'd come back and give glowing reviews, whether there were glowing reviews or not, because I guess I don't know what we hope to learn from a business person after 90 days
Right.
or 6 months. I don't mind hearing from our businesses, but again, I don't know what we would hope to learn from that. And I guess, Cam, if you've got.
Yeah, so the way this was pitched to me when it first came up,
Sure.
and it was really first done for the previous tattooing
Right.
shop, and there was concern of what that would mean when it was actually implemented. There was something that was said,
Okay.
but what is it going to
Yeah.
actually, how is it going to really impact? What does not visible, how are their window treatments going to be? Is it really in line with what was sold?
Okay,
That was more,
okay.
And-
That makes sense.
because, but I would say in this one, once again, there's very little, we're not really
Exposure.
putting a lot of conditions on that I think would get misinterpreted,
Sure.
right? Like,
Yep.
but, so I'd be fine removing it in this case as well.
Yeah.
Because I don't think there's a lot of risk.
Yeah, I don't care either way, just I wanted to voice my personal opinion.
Yeah.
And if there ever is a violation of a special use permit, it gets called back in here anyway.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
That's a
Yeah.
good point.
Yeah, I mean, it would literally only cover, situations that were unforeseen. Like, Frank and I were having a discussion, be like, let's say we do the findings of fact, and we say these things, these are today our best opinion on what we think. But let's say after 90 days of operation, no, this really was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's,
from that
you know.
standpoint, that would make sense. Yes, I agree.
Because, yeah. Okay. Like, for example, if he brought in like 1,000 cars into the parking lot. Yes.
Only through a car show.
Yeah.
Okay, so are there any more discussions that we want to have before we review the findings of fact?
No, I'm good.
No.
I'm good.
Okay, great. So I'll go through these like I did on the other one. So first question, the use is not injurious to the use and enjoyment of the property in immediate vicinity for the purposes already permitted nor substantially diminish and impair property values within the neighborhood. My opinion on this is, since it's inside, it's only the neighbors are the other businesses, and I believe that.
And he's already existing.
Yeah, he's already existing.
Established.
And yes, and obviously his landlord, is offering him a lease, so. So yes, the use will not impede the normal and orderly development and improvement of the surrounding property for uses permitted in the district. I think it's no.
No.
Moving into an existing unit. Okay, adequate utilities, access roads, drainage, or necessary facilities have been or will be provided. Yes. The landlord will cover the water, not our issue. Adequate measures have been or will be taken to provide ingress and egress so designed as to minimize traffic congestions in the public streets. Yeah, not applicable. I mean, And then how is the proposed special use in harmony with the purposes, goals, objectives, policies, and standards of the Village's East Dundee Comprehensive Plan, the zoning ordinance, or any other plan, program, or ordinance adopted under consideration pursuant to the official notice by the village? So the 2002 Commercial Development Comprehensive Plan goal states to provide for an adequate and attractive commercial base to serve the needs of the village residents. And this aligns with that. Okay. So may I have a motion to approve the findings of fact as discussed and provided in our packet?
I approve.
I second it.
Kruger,
Yes.
Stenick,
Yes.
Scarpelli,
Yes.
Bruner,
Yes.
Ray Brara,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
and Beck.
Yes.
Okay, that passes.
I will make a motion that we make a recommendation to the village board to approve a special use permit for the tattooing described in 157.050 F1 to be located at 535 Dundee Avenue in East Dundee, Illinois. Property identification number 0326-227-007 in the B3 Service Business District, subject to the findings of fact and also subject to the conditions that we discussed and amended here tonight, and in addition to any modifications to those conditions as indicated by our legal counsel, as this business has special licensing that may be in conflict with our existing licensing.
I'll second that.
Kruger,
Yes.
Stenick,
Yes.
Scarpelli,
Yes.
Bruner,
Yes.
Ray Brara,
Yes.
Myers,
No.
and Beck.
Yes.
Okay. Great, so that passes.
Passes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, then moving on in our agenda to Historic Commission items. We have none. Other business, we have none. Staff reports. Chris, do you have anything that you would
I
like?
do not.
Okay, or Kelly, I do have some items to forward from Franco. One, Franco provided a link to training. It's generally targeted towards the chair. I plan on taking advantage of that, but any of you may also. It costs $25, I believe, and the village will pay for it. So it looked interesting to me, so if you're interested, I'd recommend.
Is it online?
It's online,
online.
I believe the end of the month.
The 30th, yep.
Yeah. So just bring that one up. And then also, Franco wanted to make sure we knew that the comprehensive plan survey and website is now up and available.
I saw that.
You can see that either on our website, it's been published through our e-newsletter, also on a Facebook post, and on various public printouts throughout town. So everyone can go and participate now in that process.
And then we just have to re-sign that. Is that what you're, when we go online and sign up again? On May 1st?
The whole, yeah.
Yeah, we have to do that again.
Get the penalty for
Yeah.
$15. Yeah.
The economic interest?
Yes, I believe that's what it's called.
Okay, yes. So that is another thing for all commissioners.
I'll just note, if you get an economic interest disclosure form, the Illinois Municipal League, the IML, has a fact sheet from last fall that's very helpful in filling that out, if anybody wants to look at that.
Yeah. Will be our third one, right, for all of us.
Yeah,
They changed it?
well, a couple years ago, they changed it, because it used to read that if you did anything, or if you had certain things in relation to the body in which you're serving. Whereas now, the first question on there is list any asset in excess of $10,000. So anybody that owns a home, they're gonna have to list a home. Automobiles in excess of 10,000. So it's, and I guess everyone here is pretty new to it other than Steve and I, but Steve, I guess for your knowledge, it has changed dramatically from what it was, because now it used to be almost NA on every single one, and then you'd sign it and submit it, but it's now, you got to read that question a little bit more carefully. I spoke to somebody on Monday when I received mine at the county, because they claimed to me that you don't put cars, but I can't find anywhere in there where it says to omit automobiles under assets. So
More work.
yeah. And if you're filling out that asset thing online, it's just a single box, and you put like your house and whatever, and then the next question, they want to know any loans or mortgages you have. But don't separate anything with commas, because the first time I did it, I put my first asset, comma, my second asset, comma, and it kept rejecting it. So it's just put home, space, because it wants to know, obviously for all of us, it's East Dundee, Illinois, but it wants to know the city and state of the asset, and so on and so forth. But don't separate it by colons or commas or anything, just put a space and then move on to the next one.
Cool. Great. Well, that's all that I have from staff as their proxy in this case. So moving on to that, I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
Let's adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, Kruger,
Yes.
Stenick,
Yes.
Scarpelli,
Yes.
Bruner,
Yes.
Rivera,
I'm sorry, oh, Lillian, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
and Feck.
Yes.
Well, we are adjourned.
So May 2nd's the next one.
Conditions, right?
At 6, yeah, but I don't need it now. I don't know where she
I'll
is.
put it in here.
Struck.
Thank you.
Appointment only and
Thank
what's
you.
in view.
This is different.
So these were the three.
Go ahead, this is
Kelly, if you're keeping track of that?
I have it, yeah.
Okay.